Tungasugisi Panatumi. Welcome to Pangnirtung, Nunavut. Pang is a small Inuit hamlet of about 1,600 people located on the southern portion of Baffin Island. In Nunavut, communities can choose one of 3 language of instruction models as set out in the Nunavut Education Act. The first LOI is called the Dual Language Model, and it's designed for communities that have a high number of both English as a first language speakers as well as Inuktitut as a first language speakers. The second LOI is called the Immersion Model, and it's designed for use in communities who have undergone significant loss of Inuktitut as a first language. Through intensive immersion classes, it's designed to help reverse some of this language loss. And finally, we have the Qulliq model, which is designed for communities who still retain a strong sense of Inuktitut as a first language. This is the model used here in Pang. To find out more about the Qulliq model, I sat down with my friend Mary, who's been working in education in Pang for quite some time now.
I'm married to him, and right now I'm a student assessment and evaluation coordinator. I've been a grade 1 teacher and a kindergarten teacher, a student support teacher, a vice principal, then principal at high school, and a learning coach. Qulliq model, I believe, is from kindergarten to grade 3 is more Inuktitut teaching instruction. And then from grade 4 or 5 on up is either Inuktitut or mix and in English.
In the Qulliq model, between 85 and 90% of all classes must take place in the Inuit language from kindergarten to grade 6. English is taught as a subject between 10 and 15% of the time. Then a slow transition begins. Between grades 4 and 6, the Inuit language is taught 75% of classes, whereas English becomes present in 25% of classes. Following grade 7, 50% of all classes must be split between English and Inuktitut. The Qulliq model was created after years of English-only instruction taking place in the schools in Pangnirtung, as well as the increasing amount of English programming on TV and radio, which was creating a subtractive bilingualism environment.
And then we went to school and our kindergarten teacher was English, and so we went to the school with we had no communication. We didn't speak the language, English, but because there were no Inuit teachers. But over the years, Inuktitut was being taught, and it was very enriching for it to be in the school when we had all English teachers, from our teacher, gym teacher, or shop even.
And in many ways, it is working. To date, Pang still retains one of the highest percentages of Inuktitut first language speakers in the territory. The Qulliq model ensures that students receive an education in their first language, Inuktitut, and also by teachers who are Inuit and are able to provide culturally relevant educational programming.
When the child comes from the home and into the school, and I think that's very welcoming for the Inuk student to go into school, and the teacher is Inuk and taught in Inuktitut.
While the Qulliq model does work to ensure that first language skills remain strong in a community, there are, however, some challenges that remain with the model. One commonly cited challenge is that when the transition to English is done in the junior high grades, students often lag behind in their English language skills and have a hard time catching up to the grade level standards of English as a first language speaking students in the rest of Canada.
When the students are taught only in Inuktitut, and there has been ESL taught as a subject, but when they get Qulliq or English teacher, then they're having problems communicating at an older stage, older grade.
Now, despite the very specific percentages outlined in the language of instruction model, in reality those percentages can often be hard to obtain, and as a result instruction can often sway too far to one language or another.
It's really hard to balance it, to balance teaching and to balance English teaching, or how we can keep both without losing the other, like without losing our Inuktitut language, and to have English mixed in. I think my thought is, but I'm not speaking to everybody, that I think we need more balance of English and Inuktitut taught or speaking in the classroom, in the lower grades or the earlier grades, like K1, 2, 3.
For years, another common challenge was securing quality Inuktitut resources for use while teaching. Many teachers were faced to simply make their own resources to use in their classrooms.
A lot in the past, there were more Inuit teachers developing their own stuff.
However, that is beginning to change. In recent years, more and more resources are being created and administered by the Department of Education for use in Nunavut classrooms. As well, the recent startup of the Nunavut publisher Inhabit Media means that students and teachers alike now have access to a broad catalog of quality Inuktitut literature and resources. Now, while work remains to fully develop and implement the Qulliq model successfully, the future of bilingual education in Pang as well as in Nunavut looks optimistic.
I want more Inuktitut spoken as well, and more stronger, in a stronger way, and in a written and reading way. Inuktitut reading and writing stronger in the future, but as well mixing it with English. We also hear about, let's say, an Inuit visitor coming in to Pang visiting, and then they can hear our kids outside playing and they're speaking in our language, and then we hear that, it's so good to their ears to listen to the kids speaking their Inuktitut language.